The dreaded service engine soon light. Gonna have to stop and get an ODB2 reader. Left mine at home. Wish I didn't. I'm sure it's something stupid. Alright guys, so another repair video. Got two things coming for you. One is the drain plug on my hot water heater has developed a leak. So I picked up a new one. From it leaking, it causes my water pump to cycle every so often. So there's the new part. We're going to go pull the old one out and put the new one in. The other thing that I will be doing is this faucet is getting replaced. And what I bought was the matching faucet that matches what I have in the kitchen area. Reason I'm replacing it is that one has been not turning off all the way, and it's just old. Need to replace the sink too, but I'm not going to do that till I replace the counter. There's a telltale sign right there that the previous owners were smokers. Obviously they were setting cigarettes on the edge of the sink and one fell in the sink and they didn't catch it in time and it actually burnt the sink. So, here we go. What we're going to need to replace this drain plug is a 13/16 socket with extension, ratchet, 9/16 wrench, open end, Teflon tape, and the replacement parts. Couple of things you want to make sure of. One, either your water pump is turned off or you have bypass valves to bypass so that water doesn't just continuously keep flowing into the hot water tank while you're doing this. Also want to make sure that the hot water tank is turned off and that it's not hot, obviously. You don't want to burn yourself. So let's get started. Alright, so open this up. And the drain plug, I hope you can see that. The lighting just isn't quite right, is right there. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this part. Well, first I'm going to open the drain to drain it. Then I'm going to remove this part and then remove this bushing. Wrap Teflon tape on the new parts. Screw them in. Alright, so first thing we want to do is, you can drain it or you can just take this out and let it drain from this being taken out. This is an Atwood hot water heater. And apparently either the outside nut on this is a different size than the new one, or it's because the gas line here is in the way. I'm going to have to go grab a wrench. Okay, so it is a 13/16. I just can't get it the angle that I need to because of the gas line right there. This is an Atwood hot water heater. It may be different on some of the other ones. Now this part I probably don't really need to replace, but I just don't like the way it looks. Have the new one, why not put the new one in? So also we'll get, hopefully drain some of the gunk out of there. Now realistically, you don't have to let the thing drain completely. I could just throw the new one in there right away and stop it, but why not take this opportunity to let it drain. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is wrap these fittings in Teflon tape. You want to hold your threaded fitting this way towards you and always wrap your Teflon tape in a clockwise. You always want to wrap your Teflon tape clockwise. Reason is, when you tighten this, the ending piece will be going this way and it will not grab it and try to unroll it. So you always want to wrap clockwise. So basically, you want to do it like this. I usually do about 4 or 5 good wraps on here. And then we'll just thread that in here. Always start everything by hand. If you have line wrenches, you want to use a line wrench or a box end wrench, preferably a 6-point. So there's no chance of it slipping or stripping the nut. There's always something in the way, never fails. Be careful of like the solenoid here for the gas, the wires, so you don't hit that, crack it. Make sure you're good and tight. Next will be the drain piece, petcock, whatever you want to call it. I don't know who came up with the name petcock, but that's from my automotive days of radiators, which this is basically the exact same thing. See, I made a mistake there. I don't want this close to here, because if that gets in there, it can cause it not to seal. Most likely it would be okay, but I don't want to do it twice. So make sure you're above that part that actually pulls in to close this off. Could use plumber's putty also. That might even be better on a hot water heater, but this is what I'm using. It's what I got. So next we'll thread this in. It's the 9/16 wrench. I bent this a little bit. I'm just going to try to straighten it back out. Doesn't matter that it's bent a little. There we go. So, loosening this is open. Clockwise is closed. So we're going to close this, make sure this is closed. Then we're going to go back inside. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is turn your water pump back on if you turned it off. And in my rig, move some things out of the way here. I have bypass valves underneath of here. This is not easy to do with one hand, so there's the hot water heater. Bypass, so I'm going to close this. Then I'm going to open this valve and this valve, which you can hear pump running and the tank pressurizing. Make sure nothing's leaking out there. There we go. Got to get the air out of there. Now, at this point, hot water heater's full. What Coachmen or actually what Atwood recommends is you need to have an air gap at the top of your hot water heater. And the way you do that is go back to shutting these valves back off. They recommend you do this like once a month. So basically, I'm closing the valves, the in and the out valves for the hot water heater, now that it's full. And then with those closed, you go back outside and open the pressure relief valve. So you want pressure relief valve. So what this is going to do is, by opening this, it's going to drain down to the level of this, and then simply close that back up. Now we can open those valves back up and we're ready to go. I'll open these back up. The pump just repressurized the system, the hot water system, and we're done. So now the only thing left to do is to check it a couple times to make sure I don't have any leaks. and we should be good to go.